Welcome back to the Back in Time podcast. I am your host, Kyle, joined by Jeff and JD. I didn't say my last name. That one's for you, JD. Episode 266, old school in 20 minutes or less, or as I called it through text message, right Vaughn, wrong Wilson. Here we are, fellas. How we feeling tonight?
Doing very well.
All right. I love
A
it.
man
JD.
of a man of many words. I'm fucking fantastic, guys. It seems like it's been a hot minute since we've been on here with the podcast, laying down some law with some knowledge. So I'm super excited for tonight's episode. I did watch Wedding Crashers, as Kyle faux pas in the text string, but honestly, no, it's old school. You voted for it. We're talking about it. Let's get dirty.
Let's get dirty. So we're not going to jump into that quite yet. We'll come back to it in a few minutes. We'll put the old timer on. I'm excited, though. This was something that we kind of thought up and went back and forth on through text. Like, let's get away from the long hour and a half long episodes and let's get to like a nice 20-minute, easy to digest breakdown. We'll see what the numbers look like after this comes out. And yeah, I mean, if it's popular and people like it, we'll keep doing it. We have a new segment to go through tonight, which I'm pumped about. But Jeff, I gotta say, you created a new intro for Halloween for all of our Halloween episodes. I'm excited for everybody to see it, and yeah, great job on that. But what are you looking forward to when we get into October here, Jeff? I know we've got a couple interviews set up. We won't dive into too much, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a real big fan of Halloween. I enjoy dressing up. I enjoy haunted houses. I used to work at some when I was younger. So, knowing behind the scenes and critiquing them. And my God, I mean, just everything else like in life, it's just gotten too damn expensive to go to them, as well as just an awful long time just to wait for one. I mean, and the funny thing is now they're actually selling fast passes to Halloween houses.
Yeah.
Or haunted houses.
Yeah, taking a note from like Cedar Point in Disney World. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
for
don't
extra
care
40
with your
bucks.
Cedar Point.
Hey, I got a season pass there. I'll talk about it all I want.
I've never actually been to Cedar Point.
It's considered like one of the top, if not the top, amusement park in the country. So it's pretty awesome.
Fuck you, Disney.
More than Hersheyland?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a ton of rides, and they're actually constructing. They at one point had the largest roller coaster in the world, and then it got overtaken. They are now working on. They retired it, and now they're reimagining it. And I heard it's going to be now 500 feet.
500 feet.
It was 400. Now it's going to be 500.
Yeah, I'm a fan of roller coasters, although my body, let's just say, don't exactly fit the same in the strap seats anymore as it did as a kid. Sure. But hopefully all in due time I can get back into my fighting weights and get back on the roller coasters.
Well, I was really pumped because we went a couple weeks ago because it's all decorated for Halloween, and I used to not fit on every ride. Now I do. The only one I did not fit on was Millennium Force, which is one of their biggest coasters. It goes up 300 feet, and I got all the way down. I even tested the seat outside. Seat fit just fine. Seat belts were tiny. Couldn't get them over my legs. And I was like, had to do the walk of shame, and then my son had to ride it by himself because and we were doing it at night, so he was scared to death. But yeah, I mean, kudos to him. He took it like a champ and loved it, apparently.
That's good.
So
good for him.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, why don't you lead us into this new segment we have called Pass or Gas? Fill our audience in a little bit on what it is, and then we'll kind of jump into some.
Yeah. So, it's kind of, a lot of these podcasters these days are doing, yays or nays or ups or downs. And I thought, let's kind of do something, outside the box. And, with our type of humor, I thought pass or gas would be right up our type. And so, if we're going to pass on something, that means it's negative, and unfortunately not, our cup of tea. And if we gas it, that means we're gassing for another moment of it.
Okay. Just a nice old fart. We love it. Just
Ooh,
enjoyed it. Whoop.
there
Can
it
we do
is.
that? So why don't you start us off, Jeff? Give us a couple pass or gas. I've got a few of them written down as well. Now, are these just for clarification purposes? Because we only talked briefly about this before we started. Is it
Yeah.
something that we have had to have seen already, or something that we're looking forward to in like the next week or two?
Well, it's probably going to be a combination of both.
Okay.
Most of the stuff is going to be stuff that's trending now, or has trended, or will be trending. I got a pass right off the bat, Halloween themed, and it is Rob Zombie's The Munsters on Netflix.
Oh, you're passing. Okay.
It
I
was,
haven't
and I
watched
didn't
it
even
yet. Yeah.
watch it. I am going purely on the trailer. The
Okay.
trailer is 4 different stories in one movie. It makes absolutely no sense. And not only that, there's no Eddie, there's no Marilyn. It's just Grandpa, Herman, and Lily. It's and I mean, I know Rob Zombie has the money and the capacity to hire his wife, which in everything, but she's not a comedic actress. She's not terrible in Halloween or in horror movies, but I mean, as passionate as I've heard that he's been on it, it's just I think it was just, here's the keys to the candy store, go nuts, and he did. And yeah, so I'm passing on that one.
Oh, somebody stepping a duck?
Okay. All right. So he's passing on that one. Okay. I'll go next, and we'll come back to you again because I know you have another one. Okay. One of the top trending shows right now on Netflix is Dahmer. Or it's not Dahmer. It's called Monster, the Dahmer or Jeffrey Dahmer story. I am kind of going back and forth, but as of right now, I'm gonna give it a gas.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Now, before I decided to go with gas, I had kind of gone back and forth because I don't know that I want to like celebrate Jeffrey Dahmer, and I feel like that's a lot of what's going on right now. And there's been some hilarious memes of people being like, listen, if I want to watch a white guy kill a bunch of black people, I'll just tune in and watch Luka Doncic play when the Mavericks are on. That one's been pretty funny. But I don't know. I got like halfway into the first episode. It's pretty interesting. I'm gonna give it a gas. JD, you look like you had something to say there.
I won't say too much. I think you both have interesting picks for your Jeff, your pass, Kyle, your gas.
Sure.
Can I just jump into my first?
Let it rip.
My first one's gonna be a pass, and it pains me to say so because we've covered this franchise very much over the years on Back in Time podcast, but Game Changer season 2 is a pass for me.
Oh, somebody stepping a duck?
Oh, so good. I gotta
All
say,
right.
I just without Bombay, without I don't know. I'm not even fucking bothered. So
Oh, okay. I didn't know
Don't
what you
bother?
meant. I didn't know what you meant at first. I didn't know that the name had changed. I always knew it as the Mighty Ducks, but didn't know actually it has a title to it.
it does, and I don't think anybody's talking about season 2.
Well, we are in my house. I can tell you this. My son is pumped. We've watched both of the first 2 episodes. They have been pleasant so far. Nothing groundbreaking. And there was a fantastic Bash Brother reunion right at the beginning of the first episode, which was pretty cool. So
That does sound cool.
no
Damn.
Bombay, but we did get the Bash Brothers right off the bat, and hopefully more. I'm hoping for Charlie. I know you won't like this, JD, although he's grown up, and I don't think we hate Joshua Jackson. We only hate Charlie. So, yeah, there we go.
That's my pass.
All right, you got one more, Jeff?
Yeah, I have a couple more. I got a gas. I got some gas, and I have some gas because everyone needs to go out and watch this on Peacock. And I know not everyone has Peacock out there, but it's a film by BJ Novak, who is one of the writers of The Office, and actually did a great job on this anthology, and not too long ago on FX, which was really good. Can't think of the name of it offhand. Let me just see here, see if The Premise. What I'm talking about is a movie called Vengeance.
If you ain't first, you're last.
It's just so stupid, Kyle.
Hey, you got to put him in there.
I love it, but I hate you.
So the premise is BJ Novak plays a writer from New York who goes to this whole bunk city in Texas. This is the Texas symbol, as I found out. And what he does is attempts to solve the murder of a girl he hooked up with, and travels down and meets, her brother and her family. And it's interesting because he's doing a podcast, which again seems to be kind of the trend these days. Everyone has one. And if you're not, come on in, the water's warm. And I really enjoyed this movie.
That's a BJ Novak quote from The Office too.
Yeah.
Was that intentional?
No, he's never watched it. Remember? He's not a fan.
He says that in The Office when Aaron walks into his hotel room when they're in Tallahassee. He goes, "Come on in, the water's warm."
Oh, I say that all the time for.
Well, I freaking love it. Sorry,
all right. It's a quarter in the storage jar.
The censors are after us now.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I've got one more, and so this movie is currently in theaters. It's got a pretty good cast, but I watched the trailer for it. It's a Billy Eichner movie, and I didn't laugh one time, and it's supposed to be a comedy movie, and it is Bros, and I am a pass.
Oh, somebody stepping a duck?
So, and apparently a lot of people are passing because this movie had a pretty hefty budget, and it's only recouped about $6 million so far. So it's been a massive, massive bomb at the box office. And like I said, I went to, I think they played the trailer when I saw Elvis in theaters, which was really good, by the way. And we had pretty much a full crowd. Not one person laughed the entire trailer. Dead silence. And at the end, some guy goes, "Nah, I'm good." And then everybody started laughing. That's the only laugh, was somebody actually making fun of the trailer at the end. Like, nope, hard pass.
Huh.
So that sucks because I feel like the movie business is really, really down right now. But hopefully, with Halloween ends right around the corner here, hopefully that'll pick back up.
Well,
I do think that'll do well.
Yeah,
I thought that would be on your gas list, that you were ready to just hightail your fat ass into seeing.
Hey, easy now.
Sorry,
but yeah,
scrawny, bony butt.
I think I'll have that next week, or at least 2 weeks from now. Next time we do pass or gas, I'll have watched it, and then I can really give you a pass or gas on if it's worth seeing or not.
Interesting.
All right, you got one more, JD, or back to Jeff?
So I probably can do. We can do this all day. I can do this all day. No, I want to echo the gas on Dahmer.
Okay.
Yep.
Oops.
Same here.
I just, yes, I think that some of it was problematic, but also it did an excellent job of humanizing his victims.
Yeah.
Which I don't think, a lot of the times, I think previous documentaries and videos and tapes like focus on him and just breaking out some brewskis with the bros. And this one did that to a little bit, but it also, to me, like illuminated the bigger picture. But I'm going to go back a couple weeks prior, and we haven't talked about it, but the newest season of Cobra Kai was karate damn good.
Oh yeah. Or give me an official. Let me hit the gas here. Give me an official grade for it though from you.
It's 3 cinder blocks of just hiya.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah. I gotta echo. I binged through the season so quick. I've actually forgotten that I watched it already.
I want to watch it again.
I actually forgot I have 2 episodes left, so I guess I can't wait. Yeah, and echoing your guess there, JD, with the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Although I'll be honest, every time I heard his dad say "Damn it, Jeff," or yell at him or something like that, I got a little self-conscious about myself and where I am at my life, being a Jeff and having the same name. Although not really a lot of people associate the two together with the name, but then we'll have to see how the next month goes.
Well, your last name was like Dombrot or something. Be a little bit different.
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to lie to you. I have Spotify open in my browser right now, and the playlist is the soundtrack from Dahmer.
Oh.
Which is really weird to say, but everything about the show was just, from the acting to the music to the portrayals. I hate that people aren't understanding what they did, because it was damn good.
Yeah. I haven't read up on anything. I'm really trying to stay away from spoilers, but I'm just curious, do either of you know, do they show what happens once he goes to jail?
Yes.
They do.
So they show how he dies.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Well, yes.
It's
because
actually probably the most
that
brutal scene in all of the series.
Yeah,
right.
Because the way I remember it, reading up on him like years back, is he got his comeuppance really well. Like it's exactly how killers should be handled, in my opinion. Like, let's not just let him sit there and live this cushioning life.
Yeah, there were a couple of interesting facts, like the day that John Wayne Gacy got the death penalty was the same day that he baptized. Got baptized. So that was kind of weird. And there was also a solar eclipse. So like, talking about the planets aligning kind of thing. So,
and no spoilers.
No.
But I mean, we finish it and then let's catch up and talk about it, because there's a lot that goes into how he was killed, like how he physically took on the beating.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to ruin it. Just watch it. Just watch it, Kyle. Watch it.
Okay.
Just taste it.
So so then finishing the segment with one last one, and I have a pass, and and I know everyone's been kind of Marvel and Star Wars out lately, but I am really disappointed with Andor.
Oh, somebody stepping a duck?
I just love it.
It's I've tried watching the first 3 episodes, and I don't think I'm ever going to get there. And even watching the trailers and this, and I mean they made it look.
Well, if you remember, we both loved the trailer, and I've not
Right.
watched it, and now you're saying it's not good, and now I'm like, oh, okay, well, guess I won't be in a hurry to watch it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So not looking forward to Wednesdays. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I've not watched an episode of that one. Let's get some brewskis, Dad.
Okay. Well, I think that's a good place to stop. Good first segment here of Pass or Gas. That's fun. If you guys listening think of some stuff that you want us to pass or gas on for next week, shoot it to us on any of our social media platforms. Give us some recommendations. We'll keep it going. But let's get to the reason we're here. This will probably be cut into maybe 2 separate clips. So we have one that's just straight to the review and one that's like our full episode. So for some of you that might be jumping in right now and you missed the beginning part, go back and listen to Pass or Gas. But we're going to be breaking down Old School in 20 minutes or less. This could be a bit of a challenge. This is a really fun movie. There's a lot of good clips. We've got some clips ready to go. Some of our favorite scenes of the movie. I'm going to give a quick, almost like, Roger and Ebert breakdown of the movie, and I'll get through it as quick as I can. And then
Roger and Ebert?
Ebert? Roper?
No, you have it right. Roger
Siskel
Ebert.
and
Actually,
Ebert?
Siskel and Ebert. Yeah, Roger Ebert's the same person. That's the name.
Sure is. Roger and Ebert. Well, Roger was Ebert. Who's on first? Okay.
What's
Sorry.
on second?
Yeah. All right. Been a long day.
Good start to the new segment.
Yeah, perfect start.
Roger and Ebert. I'm about to send a mass text to a lot of people, so I don't get that you said Roger and Ebert.
Okay. I love it. All right. Well, let's jump into it and let's have some fun with it. I'm going to start a timer. Make sure that we keep ourselves accountable here. Stopwatch is on and ready. Here we go. Old School is a 2003 comedy film directed and co-written by Todd Phillips. It stars Luke Wilson, Vince Vaughn, and Will Ferrell. The film centers around a group of 30-something-year-old men, the main guy being Mitch Martin, who, upon returning home early from a business trip, finds his girlfriend in some sort of orgy. This, of course, sends Mitch into a bit of a spiral that culminates at his friend Frank's wedding, where he makes a fool of himself giving a best man speech and then has an awkward encounter with his former high school crush, Nicole. I'll put a quick pin in the story for a second so we can talk about cast. JD, let's talk Luke Wilson. He's here as Mitch Martin. What do you like about him as Mitch?
I like Luke. I like Luke. I think he's underappreciated as an actor. I think he's Owen's brother. He's no Andrew Wilson, who's the third Wilson brother that gets even less talk about. But no, I think he's, for the time, completely appropriate and nails it.
Okay. We have Bernard, played by Vince Vaughn. Jeff, what do you like about Vince Vaughn here as the best friend, the guy kind of putting things together behind the scenes?
Yeah, Vince Vaughn plays a nice side best friend character. I mean, he does a great job here. He did a great job in Swingers. He does a great job in Wedding Crashers.
With the other Wilson.
Yeah. And it's just a great cast. And of course, anytime you have to say Vince Vaughn, I think you are obligated, just like with John Cusack, to have say Chicago's own Vince Vaughn.
Chicago's own. Yeah, absolutely. And then kind of rounding it out, one of the scene stealers in this movie is Will Ferrell, who's playing Frank the Tank. And I feel like this was kind of the movie that really launched him, because he had done like a few things up until then, kind of a background guy. Like he's awesome as Mugatu and Zoolander. He's got that little part there in Ladies Man, Superstar was good. But then he hit this one out of the park, and then he gets Elf a year later. And then we get some some Afternoon Delight, a little Anchorman action after that. And he was just like off to the races after this movie. So now after the wedding, Mitch moves into a place located near the fictional campus of Harrison University, where quickly Bernard and Frank kind of make themselves at home and help throw Mitch a huge kickoff what they call Mitch-Palooza. And this gives us one of my favorite scenes of the movie, which I'll save because we're going to give some of our favorite scenes toward the end and actually watch them and react with you guys. So the next day, they are met by an old acquaintance, somebody they used to pick on back in the day, Gordon Pritchard, played by Jeremy Piven of Entourage fame. And the guys are all worried about getting booted from campus, so Bernard proposes that they start a fraternity. And we get just an array of hilarious hazing events with pledging members, which lands with Bernard and actually, at Bernard's birthday party, Mitch walks in on Nicole's boyfriend, Mark, who's hooking up with another girl. And he actually ends up blaming Mitch at some point, and Mitch has to like, no, you were the one hooking up with her. So we kind of have our love foil in this as well. And then we lose Blue to a heart attack, which is heartbreaking. And then Frank finds out he's getting a divorce. So it all happens pretty quickly. And then finally, in order to save the fraternity charter, Mitch learns that the group can bypass Pritchard's ruling if all members compete in various activities to prove their legitimacy. So after Frank rallies the group with a strong performance in floor exercise, Bernard completes the ring routine, and then it's Weensy, who is we'll just call him Portly, member of the fraternity, who performs the vault, which he nails perfectly, only to find out that Pritchard got them on a technicality because of Blue's death and said that not everybody competed. And then Megan arrives with tape evidence of Pritchard's bribery, and that leads us to a chase through campus where Frank obtains the tape and uses it to get Pritchard fired and the fraternity's charter reinstated. Ultimately, Mitch gets the girl, and Frank takes over leadership of the fraternity as Mitch and Bernard step out. So that's our breakdown. Let's talk about some of our first clips. JD, I'm going to start with you. Now, you've got a clip I've got ready to go on here. Why don't you start us with give us a little intro to your clip.
Are you going to play the clip that I sent, or are you going to play the...
I'm playing the real one, not the one you sent. That one was bogus.
I made that one.
Bogus. I know you made it.
Oh, it was my name.
I know.
I like the scene, like just the way, and I kind of forgot how the movie started.
Okay.
And I was like excited to be like, where do we begin and how do we get onto this adventure for Mitch? And it's just watching him be at the work trip and then come home early and then find his gal just gang banging away. And then this like really creepy Jeffrey Dahmer guy just like casually. I've never been to a gangbang or an orgy personally. I don't know about you guys, but like this guy's just so like cavalier about like, hey, I'm here for the gangbang.
All right, well let's watch it. Let's watch it.
Okay.
Her face.
Hello. Yeah. I'm here for the gangbang.
I don't know. It always makes me laugh.
That's a great clip.
And here's a fun fact. That's actually the director, Todd Phillips, playing your creepy gangbang debonair.
Yeah.
Hey, like I said, I've not been. I think you two have more experience in that realm than I do. So is that common? I feel like Kyle puts on the glasses and he's like popping some brewskis and just being real creepy in his free time.
Well, and I have a matching suede suit like that. So yeah, that'd
like
probably
this.
be my but he actually does make a cameo in a lot of his movies. He plays a real interesting creep in Road Trip, where he licks Amy Smart's feet. Not the best cameos in his movies, but certainly memorable.
Yeah, and the actually let's get to your clip next, and Jeff, we'll come back to some of this after we break down some of these. So I'll make sure I've got yours teed up here. There's the wedding scene. Why does it seem like I have two wedding scenes? All right, hold on. Okay, here we go. Now I got it. All right. Let me share. Give us a little lead in, though, Jeff.
So this scene is the hazing scene where the gentlemen are all standing up on a cliff, getting ready to yelled at and getting ready to throw off cinder blocks tied to their one-eyed willies.
Congratulations, gentlemen. You should all be very proud of yourselves. Each and every one of you has been handpicked to represent
I
our
love the look on
inaugural
all their
pledge
faces,
class.
like they know something bad's about
Over
to
the next
happen.
21 days, you're all going to experience intense mental and physical strain. Pace yourself.
Copy that. Just got a little overexcited. Sorry.
At this point, you may be asking yourself, why am I holding this 30-pound cinder block in my hands? You might also ask yourself, why does this cinder block have a long piece of string tied to it? And finally, why is the other end of this string tied securely to your penis?
And the answer, ladies,
I love how they all straighten up.
is trust. This is your first test.
Spanish! Do you trust that we've provided you with enough slack so that your block will land safely on the lawn?
Sir, yes, sir.
And Blue!
Yes, sir.
Do you trust that I do not want to see you die here tonight?
Sir, yes, sir.
Blue, you're my boy!
Thank you, sir.
About face! Step to the edge! Pledges! Prepare to release! 1, 2, 3, release! Wasn't meant to happen like that, Waynesy!
Walk it off, big guy. Up and down.
Walk it off. Rub some
That's
dirt
great.
on it.
I was just gonna say that. You beat me to it. Take a salt tablet.
Oh my gosh, that is such a great clip from beginning to end. And Will Ferrell, like just his little moments in there where he's just like, ah, calm down. He's like, oh yeah, my bad.
Yeah,
my
pace
bad."
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never. I spent 2 years away at Ferris State University, home of the Bulldogs,
Go
and
Bulldogs.
didn't have really a desire to join a fraternity, but knew enough people so to go to the parties and get in, and was good enough for me. So yeah, that's my experience with fraternities.
Yeah. So we went to a dry campus, and there were no frats. We were not allowed to mingle with girls in the dorm rooms, and I don't think JD had his first beer until his wedding. True.
Do you want a funny response or an asshole response?
Oh, it was also your first time invited to a party?
Yeah, well, I mean, I made the guest list, and that was a maybe.
I don't know about this guy. And then you're like, hold on, that's me, son of a. No, but yeah, that's a true story about JD and myself's college. We did not have any fraternities, and yeah, that's completely foreign to me. So, JD, you look like you're about to fart or say something.
Oh no, I got nothing to add, Kyle. You for the first time in our friendship of many years aren't talking bullshit.
Stumped you. Okay.
Wow.
Yes, you stump jumped me, and now my lump is a crump of pump.
All right. Well, I'm going to give the lead in for my clip here. This is one of the. I think it is actually the first scene of the movie, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember if this happens before he walks in on the. No, it's definitely after. Never mind.
Is it the?
Yeah,
we haven't talked about the taxi scene. Is it the
No,
taxi scene?
this is early on. This is early on. So Frank is getting ready to get married, and they're all standing in line. And yeah, I've had this thought so many times. Like every time I go to a wedding, where I'm just like, hey, now's your chance. If you want to leave, we gotta go now. Like, so let's watch this clip. I love it. I think Vince Vaughn is awesome in this.
You look a little pale, Mitch. You need to breathe. A little blood up in your face there, will you? I don't want to breathe. But you should be proud of yourself. Do you have any idea how hard it is to land a girl as sexually enlightened as Heidi is? A girl like that comes around, once every 100 years?
I wasn't looking for a girl like that.
Well, Columbus wasn't looking for America, my man, but that seems to work out for everybody, didn't it? You're here. You know what I mean?
Hey, I just want to thank you guys one last time for being here. It's the best day ever.
Don't even start with me, Franklin. Okay, you need to walk away from this ASAP.
What?
You need to get out, Frankie. Well, this is it, Frank. It's now or never. You need to get out of here while you're still single.
I'm not single.
She's 30 yards away from you. You're still single right now.
Come on. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Once you give that 6 months, you don't think that's going to change? I got a wife, kids. Do I sound like a happy guy to you, Frankie? Yeah, that's my wife. Nah, see that? Always smiling. Hi, honey. Judging, watching. Look at the baby. Look at the baby.
Just going down the aisle, Beanie. Let it go.
All right, let me be the first to say congratulations to you then.
Oh, that's
You get one
Mrs.
vagina for
R's
the rest of your life. Real smart,
Never
Frank.
noticed
Way to
that.
work it through.
Don't listen to him, Frank. I need my name.
Thank you, Daddy.
Takes a man to give away an angel. Sweet.
You look beautiful. Great.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here together to join Franklin and Marissa.
Don't do it. My throat's dry. I'm sorry. I'm a smoker.
Yeah.
That would probably be me now at weddings. Don't do it.
the way that he flips the switch with the dad, he's talking all this crap, and then he gets all the way. She walks up the thing, and he's like, "And it takes an angel, sir, to give away a daughter like that." And it's just like, where did that come from? And then he's back to talking shit a second later. So yeah, that is one of my favorite clips of the movie. I mean, it was hard to pick between that one and the actual wedding part where they start singing.
Yeah,
that part's iconic as well. But
the Dan band,
good old Dan band. But yeah, that's what we got for the 3 clips. I wanted to talk a little bit about the box office money real quick, because we've kind of made a habit of doing that over the years on the podcast. And I wanted to talk a little bit about Rotten Tomatoes. The movie was received pretty well by the audience overall. I mean, this was a massive hit. They're an 86% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is great. Critically, it was kind of split with Old School, which was a little bit of a surprise. I thought it would be a little bit higher, but it had a 60% on the tomato meter. And then as far as box office goes, like I said, this really helped launch Will Ferrell. They only had a $24 million budget, and it came out of the gates pretty well first weekend. Brought in just over $17 million one. And then in week 2, they were all the way over 50 million as it kind of exploded. So overall, went on to gross $87,135,520 worldwide, over 75 million domestically. So they recouped the budget times 3. JD, any thoughts on that? We've talked a lot about budgets and box office numbers over the years. We got to get this part in there.
Yeah, no, that's I remember seeing this movie twice in theaters, and
Nice.
opening weekend and being like, "Holy shit, I got to do this again!" Because I think I brought my little brother to see it when he was probably like 10 years old.
If you had to guess, now I know I butchered it earlier calling it Roger and Ebert, but how do you think Roger Ebert actually responded to this movie? Because he's been kind of split on comedy movies that we've reviewed years here.
Yeah, I bet he kind of tackles some of like the pedestrian storytelling elements, but appreciates the comedy. Because at the end of the day,
You would hope,
the story's not that great.
Yeah, he gave it 1 out of 4 and said,
Oh, shit.
this is not a funny movie. Although it had a few good scenes and some nice work by Farrell, who's apparently a compulsive nudist. 1 out of 4. I was surprised by that one. I mean, he crapped on it almost as hard as he did on Tommy Boy. But his buddy, Roper, of Ebert and Roper, Thought it was a raucous frat school comedy that's dopey, degrading, disgusting, but consistently hilarious, and was positive on it. So I guess, that's why we get the 60% is one loves it, one doesn't love it, but overwhelmingly, 60% loved it a little bit more. So there we go. We've hit the mark, guys. We're at 18 minutes and 45 seconds. I think that's time to put a bow on it. Last word. We got wrap it up in 10 to 15 seconds. Jeff, what's the legacy of Old School?
Legacy of Old School. It's one of those last, raunchy rated R comedies you don't really get these days, and that's the one thing I remember about it.
Okay, JD, how about you?
Jeremy Piven sticks the landing, and you love to hate him. And
Yes.
whether he's Ari Gold or if he's Gordon Pritchett or Dean Pritchett, whatever, props to him.
Lloyd! Oh, man. So great as Ari Gold. Yeah, I think for me, I'll remember this as kind of the launching pad for Will Ferrell, the movie that shot him into superstardom. And yeah, I mean, these guys are absolute magic together. And if they were going to reboot one movie, why not? Why not? I know they're trying it with Wedding Crashers Part 2. Why not Old School 2? But that's it. Watching another episode of the Back in Time podcast. Episode 266 is in the can. As always, remember to rate, review, subscribe wherever you're watching or listening. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week. We'll be back with an October kickoff show. We know it's a little bit late, but we're going to get something done for you guys as quick as we can. A little Frank the Tank action. And we're going to follow that up with a interview that we have coming out with a very talented miniature man. I guess we could call it. Let's just drop it now. David Miniatures. If you find him on Instagram, fantastic. He's going to help us kick off the month. And then I'm working on bringing back our old buddy Chris Clues, who just released his new book, which we helped write a little thing in there for him, a little recommendation. So we got to get Chris on. He's busy doing like big network stuff. I saw him on like NBC Connecticut yesterday or something like that. So when he can fit us in this little tiny cast, get us in his schedule, we're going to get him right back on. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next week. See ya.